I made it. I think I made it. I hope that I made it. Who knows? I guess that we'll find out momentarily. Anyways, hello. And welcome to Divine Disbelief episode. I don't know. Susan's not here, and I guess I'll just like throw a number out there. Like, I don't know, 50 something. We're almost to 50s. I don't really know. I'm not really good at math. Sure, I'm your host, Nathaniel, and guess who has still 2 thumbs, a badass beard, got the COVID-19 vaccine 2 days ago. This guy. Now that I'm safe and I'm certain that nothing bad could ever happen, I'm just I'm gonna eat my sandwich.
Today, the CDC and FDA announced that they are calling a pause on the administration of the J&J vaccine for COVID-19 due to a small number of adverse events.
What the fuck, Brad Pitt? Hey guys, it's not showing me. That's funny. Hey man, it's not showing me. Yeah, I know. I can't see because it's only showing me. Oh well. Let me see. They started the intro again. See, it's saying, but who cares? Look at me. See, I have this all set up in Stream Deck, and it's supposed to work just fine. And it did work just fine. I heard Susan in the background. Starting the intro again. The Stream Deck is set up perfectly. I already re-recorded this. I pre-recorded this. And let this in. This is post. Do you believe me? Did it come across as posty? This is good, by the way. Everything in here looks amazing. Anyways, I'm being told, by the way, that they've already had over 6.5 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine have been administered with just 6 negative reactions, none of which have been shown to actually have a direct causal connection with the vaccine. So get vaccinated, whether you get the one made by the corn seed folks or the modern one. Get vaccinated. Okay, seriously. We're going to begin today's show talking about, or we were going to begin today's show talking about evangelicals and the vaccine, which I already did talk about the vaccine. Anyways, but I came across something incredibly troubling. It has nothing really to do with religion, but it's still an American tradition, and I'm talking about racism, which I guess could also be because of religion. But anyways, American racism, not to be confused with the British version. Anyways, I hit the wrong button. There you go. This should be showing something on the screen that it's not showing, and I really feel like I might have, I don't know, messed something up. Did I mess something up? I have the hotkeys in there perfectly. I don't know why it's not showing it. Susan, why is it not showing it? It's not showing it. You know what? Look at that. I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to make sure I do it that way. I'm going to be clicking on stuff. See, this is the production quality that you have come to know and love and adore with divine disbelief. Your dad got the Johnson & Johnson one. Happy to hear. As you can see, we're still in post. Anyways, at Aledo High School or Aledo 9th grade campus or something, I don't really know. Schools in Texas are big or whatever. Several 9th graders have been disciplined after they, quote, assigned prices to students of color in a Snapchat group called Slave Trade. They said one student was worth, quote, $100, while another was worth $1, a price that, quote, would be better if his hair wasn't so bad. From the New York Times, quote, a note sent to parents last week by Carolyn Ansley, the principal of Daniel 9th grade campus. Okay, it's 9th grade. The Aledo Independent School District described the messages as, quote, an incident of cyberbullying and harassment, adding that racially charged language violates the district's policies and code of conduct. That's racism. Racially charged language, I don't think that you necessarily think about it that often because 390 of the 499 ninth grade, 499? How fucking big is yours? Anyways, 9th graders at your school to the 2019, 2020 were, white. You had just 6 black students. And you don't necessarily believe in diversity either, with 92% of the teachers in the campus being white and 8% identifying as Hispanic. And I'm just like checking my math here. 0 black teachers. So I get it. You don't really know much about I don't know what racism is. That's racism. It's textbook fucking racism. Right? Sure, it's not quite as bad as that time earlier this year when a middle school teacher in Mississippi literally fucking told students to pretend like they were slaves working on a Mississippi plantation and gave this assignment. This is a real assignment. It's not just something I would make on PowerPoint. I would never make this, but I would just make what it would look like, because that's the type of production quality you come to expect from divine disbelief. They were to write a letter to their family in Africa or another state, glossing over the fact that would separate families during the slave trade, and describe who they worked for. Because slave owners were just like bosses and they were totally working a job. So yeah, it's not as bad as that. Now, of course, they did not note what disciplinary actions were taken, but I'm certain it was, I don't know, something which fit the crime. So I guess working with Steven Crowder or running for president on the Republican ticket or being a Georgia lawmaker, because apparently being super fucking racist can't get you banned from YouTube. It doesn't stop you from being the god of the Republican Party or prohibit you from passing racist voting restriction laws in the Peach State. Anyways, that's a good start to the show, right? Everybody's in a good mood? Awesome. Let's move on to the religious news. Speaking of evangelicals and the vaccine, you'll never guess how that's going. Not well. The New York Times reported on April 5th that millions of white evangelicals do not plan to get vaccinated because they, quote, don't trust science. Here's just a thought. Maybe don't fucking platform Kent Hovind. Just a fucking thought. It's not real science. According to this survey from Pew Research, that's what that is right there. I don't know, I'm backward on the screen. 45% of white evangelicals, the highest percentage of any religious group, do not plan to get the vaccine. By contrast, the largest group who said they would get it, the atheists. Just saying. 90%, with agnostics just behind it. 80%, meaning a full 85% of atheists and agnostics have either already or plan to get the vaccine. I don't say this often, but great job, atheists. Now stop being dicks on the internet. Also, Jesus the man totally existed. Now, if you want like a big shocker here, even Franklin Graham and fucking Robert Jeffress say to get the vaccine. And I don't really actually care that Jeffress relates it to stopping abortion when he said we need to talk about life inside the womb being a gift of God, or we already do. Well, life outside the womb is a gift from God too. I don't care that he says that, because whenever he says to get vaccinated, why are he and I on the same team? Now, other evangelical pastors who apparently aren't millionaires or multimillionaires or whatever the fuck Jeffress is at this point, I don't even know, and are just plain afraid to say anything because it's too political. And they don't want to lose their already tiny and shrinking congregations, because I'm certain that's the same way that Jesus taught. Now, it's really cool we're talking about numbers and stats and surveys and stuff like that, because here's another one. According to Ryan Burge, I actually had to look that up. Burge, some guy who's apparently a pastor and makes graphs about religion, which seems super cool, and is followed by me and other important people, and I guess has a PhD in political science or something like that. I don't know. We aren't really great at knowing degrees. Okay, that's probably a myth. Unlike the Jesus of Nazareth thing, it's not a myth. And he says the largest religious voting bloc in the United States today is white evangelicals, which is 13.1% of the population. Now, that is a huge chunk, more than double any other demographic. He also notes this, pardon me, Democrat nuns, however he defines that, he apparently wrote a book about it, I don't know, contains 17.6% of the population. And apparently about 40% of white nuns, that's this graphic right here, are atheist or agnostic. So I guess that's cool. And by the way, Portland is like the least religious city in the country. So if you want to move here, that'd be super cool. But then again, we're also like super duper liberal. So please stay away if you're part of the conservative atheists at Harvard. Actually, maybe you should come here. If nothing else, I'd like to see your entitled asses lose at everything literally every single year. Now, when asked about some sort of war by Hamet Mehta earlier today, Burge linked to his tweet from June of last year. And at that point, we all had a million things to do. I guess maybe, I don't really know. I do my best to forget almost all of last year. The amount of white evangelical Republicans hasn't changed much. And not much has changed because it's been a year, and what do you expect? Anyways, see, white evangelicals are tops last year and have been supplanted by nothing in particular this year, and atheists have moved ahead of the non-white Catholics. Now, if you do like numbers and stats and all those things, I definitely recommend following him. Link in the description. I don't know, like maybe not. Susan isn't here, so it should get in there, I guess. Anyways, on to politics. And also there's a graph too, it's from the other one. Politics. Even if this whole episode hasn't already been kind of political, I only choose the articles and write the scripts, okay? Tennessee State Representative Jerry Sexton wants to make the Bible the official state book of Tennessee. The measure has already failed twice, first in 2015 and again in 2016, but he just won't give up. He's like a white evangelical representative Republican person, or if you will, the governor of fucking New York. This time though, he's facing a little bit of backlash, most notably from State Representative Johnny Shaw, which I'm hoping this clip works. I really am. Let me see. This is the clip, right? This is the one.
Do you believe that there's a separation of church and state?
Representative Sexton.
I'll answer that question if you'll tell me where separation in state is in any of our founding documents in the United States government and any of our founding fathers that have used that to found this nation and institution. I'll be glad to answer that when you show me where that is in our founding documents.
Representative Shaw.
Maybe I should put it this way. Do you believe that the government should dictate you as to when to go to worship and when not to?
Representative Sexton.
No, I voted for the bill tonight to not shut down churches.
Representative Shaw.
Well, then how can we make the Bible a state book if if we can't be obedient to what men and women say in our lives who are supposed to be, if you will, conducting us in the right way? For instance, the Bible says that obedience is.
Again, the sandwich always, a sandwich, by the way, always, it looks crazy on the fucking thing. It looks like I'm eating like something that's super moldy. I don't know why I did that either, but hold on. And by the way, Jocelyn, that's great to hear. You know, the clip kind of goes on for like a little bit longer than that, but it's just Shaw asking, maybe not in like the best manner, how can we make the Bible the state book if we aren't willing to listen when it says to obey those who are appointed over us, which is, let's be honest, a pretty valid point. Now, it should be noted that Representative Shaw is a Christian. And his vision, as stated in his Tennessee legislator's biography, is to, quote, continue to be, a voice for Christ and a servant of people into all eternity. Of course, that probably doesn't matter very much to Sexton, who last June said of an amendment to move the statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest, you know, the guy that fucking invented the KKK, from the state's Capitol grounds, quote, it was not against the law to own slaves back then. Who knows? Maybe some of us will be slaves one of these days. Laws change. Seriously, this guy's a fucking multi-elected official in Tennessee. Great job, volunteer state. Now, his plan to ensure the bill passes and isn't vetoed by the governor this time is to tell people Nashville is the top publisher of Bibles in the nation, and Tennessee's culture is based largely on the Bible and the nation's Judeo-Christian founding. Now, as famed Freedom from Religion Foundation lawyer and wearer of Atheist Captain America shirts, which my girlfriend made, Andrew Seidel, he's the good-looking one in the middle there, says in his awesome book, The Founding Myth, which I totally own because my girlfriend got it for me and I'm sideways, that whole Judeo-Christian thing, you're wrong. Like, you're horribly wrong. I'm still sideways, and you're wrong. Horribly wrong. Also, that was like before we had 1 million pops. Oh, and he, by the way, he's also super duper anti-LGBT, but there's so much wrong with this guy and what he does that I'm not even going to get into it. It could be like a deep dive that I could do, seriously. Anyways, rapid fire right now. Anti-LGBT and Christian nationalist Kevin Brady, who has served Texas in the U.S. House of Representatives since, I don't know, whatever 13 terms is retiring. Yay, of course, he's also from a deep red part of Texas, and gerrymandering sucks, but again, deep dive. So he's going to be replaced by another Republican, but hey, at least this fuck is gone. Utah politics! The Mormon state has passed, and the governor has signed this time, a bill which will require all cell phones and tablets sold in the state to automatically block porn. I guess the First Amendment doesn't matter in Polygamyville. Anyways, more than a quarter of white evangelicals believe the core parts of the QAnon conspiracy theory. Of course they do. If I can convince a person they can speak in tongues and heal the sick just by touching them, what can't I convince them? Well, I guess we're not really great at convincing them to vote Democrat. Matthew and Jonathan Peter, I don't know, I guess their parents couldn't figure out the Bible person they liked more, Klein, 2 first-round draft picks in the far-right insurrectionist draft, are from down the road from us in Sherwood, Oregon. No, like, I'm serious. They're like right down the road, as in we go to stores down there on a fairly regular basis. These two, were involved in the insurrectionist attempt back in January and are going to go to jail, like, and all that other stuff. They were raised in a super far-right Baptist missionary going to like Venezuela not to have fun down there, which I guess makes sense because that's where arachnophobia is fucking based. They were raised super far right Baptist because here you go, super duper surprising that white people that went to do the insurrection thing were, you know, super far right evangelicals and fundamentalists. In other idiot insurrectionist news, Michael Lee Roche, the guy who, quote, invited Christ back into our capital, was arrested for being an insurrectionist and doing insurrectionist things. And then, because he's a smart person, this is him, by the way, right here doing things and insurrectionist things, he posts about it on Facebook. He says this, my name is Michael Roche. At least that's what I think his name is. How do you say that? We're here in Washington, D.C. Appreciate you letting them know it's not the state of Washington. We did get a chance to storm the Capitol. We made it into the chamber, ellipses. We managed to convince the cops to let us through. They listened to reason. It's kind of funny coming from an evangelical fundamentalist. Anyways, and when we got into the chamber, we all started praying and shouting in the name of Jesus Christ and inviting Christ, who is omnipresent apparently, back into our state capitol. That's a problem because you're in the United States Capitol. That's why you couldn't get Jesus to come in there. Also, again, omnipresent. And Roche, who was also photographed at the Trump rally, had a celebrity photo op with Jacob Chansley. You might know him as the QAnon shaman or whatever. I don't know. He had a photo of him, and he captioned the photo this. He says, took a pic of this wonderful man from AZ before the media tried to smear him as Antifa. My brother was shoulder to shoulder praying in Jesus' name in the main capitol. This time he spelled it incorrectly. Chamber, holding up the Bible. I want to see those photos. Do not believe what you hear. This, of course, is unedited. I guess he disagrees with Matt Gaetz then, who, if you don't remember, on January 6th or 7th, said, no, it was the 6th, said on the floor of Congress that he heard they were Antifa. And say what you will about the Black Bloc. At least they cover their faces. And finally, another Hillsong church is shutting down. This one in Dallas, because fucking shocker, the pastor Reed Bogard, seen here. Oh, wrong one. Oh, well, here you go. Seen here thinking he could probably undo another button on his flannel, was probably really good, really bad at being really good, or being bad at being good with money. He was bad at being good with money. Whatever. Anyways, he's like, they're all super good at the whole lavish lifestyle thing. Now, Hillsong's higher-ups said the church was, quote, beyond immediate redemption. Whatever that means in like super-duper rich evangelical speak. And if you remember this guy right here, the guy from New York City, that's the one right there. I'd put the other button. In New York City, Carl Lentz, this is from like 2020. He had to step down from that church, which was the Hillsong like United States one in New York City, because he mismanaged money, right? I guess that's code for cheated on his wife while telling the other woman he was totally divorced and used a ton of the church's money to like do all this shit. I don't know if he actually paid for the Pomeranian or something like that. I'm going to doubt that because that's super duper like I'm certain that young lady has amazing taste in dogs. I mean, she doesn't have a corgi, but whatever. But yeah, if you remember him, as it turns out, Bogard, this guy, the guy that would look super duper comfortable with Matt Gaetz, was the head of finance at that church. It's almost like they're in it for the money. I don't know, man. And you know what? That's enough news for right now. What books should you read? Lots of them. I recommend lots of books. Lots and lots of books. But today I had one. I don't know what I did with it. Here we go. I'm going to recommend this one right here. It's by Robin Lane Fox. I wonder if I can like make this remove. Can I get it removed? Maybe I can just like do this right here and like click a button. Look at that. Right here. Robin Lane Fox's book, Pagans and Christians. It's a very, very good book. As you can see, it's like, you know, it's fairly thick. It's got like, it's pretty big words though. So it's not going to be like super difficult to get through. I also, of course, recommend Andrew Seidel's The Founding Myth, and, you know, we got it. So it makes sense here too. But Robin Lane Fox, he was a professor at Oxford University. So he's, you know, not one of those Christian universities where you go to be intellectually bankrupt or whatever. I don't know, man. I guess that's what you have to be if you teach at a Christian university. You can't do any of that critical thinking anymore. This is an amazing book. It really is. Yeah, I got more. I don't know, but I'm going to go with that one today. Why not? You know what? This is a good time to, hey, you know what? It's a great, great opportunity for me right now, of course, to talk about what we're doing on the channel. As you can see, right now, I am sitting in front of you. Those words even go together. Oh my gosh, there's so much, Maya. But I just chose a few different things. One, let me let you know how important it is that we really have been doing a few things. We have a lot of things written, or like I do have a lot of things written. And we actually have an Easter video, 2 of them that are coming out in the next week. And I know you might be saying, Nathaniel, Easter already passed. First off, you might be watching this in the future and say, Happy Easter 2021. 2, I don't know what year it is. Anyways, if that's the case, that's fine. But as it turns out, Christians believe that Jesus rose like all year round, like he rises every day. And so the belief like never goes away. And it's a really, really, really cool video that I'm doing. At the end of it, it tells all of you to stop being fucking dicks to each other. Seriously, y'all a bunch of dicks. If you're a mythicist, first off, you're wrong. Secondly, stop being dicks to people that like accept Jesus as a historical person. Because then you got to go be dicks to like all the historians in the world, basically. All right? And like all of the scholars and all the people, all the professors of divinity, everybody. Stop it. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. Also, stop quoting Richard Carrier, please. He's a fucking sexual monster, sexual predator monster. He's a monster. Stop it. Right? But just stop being dicks to each other in general. It's not that difficult. Stop being dicks to Christians. Christians, stop being dicks to non-believers. Note, by the way, if you are religious, that's fine. But you need to respect the fact that there are people who have been, and some do continue to be abused in your churches. Stop it. Validate that. You need to know that they're valid. Don't validate it. Sorry, you need to know that they're valid. Those are amazing people who you need to understand are not lying. Atheists, stop telling Christians they're dumb or delusional or ignorant or anything of that demeaning fucking nature, because it's not true. Seriously. Was I dumb? Was I delusional? If you're an American, the chances are, and you're an atheist, there's a big chance you were once a Christian. Were you delusional? Were you dumb? Stop it. Fucking stop it. It's not just annoying, it's demeaning. And I see it every single day. Me writing the stuff about Jesus was a real person, Jesus existed in the past, that was on purpose. First off, it's true, because he did, but also it was on purpose, because I wanted to see if y'all fuckers could play nice. And apparently you can't. And I'm sick of it. I really am. I've become so critical of atheists on the internet. The reason for that is because y'all a bunch of assholes. Seriously. You need to learn to practice some fucking empathy. You need to learn, if you were never religious, that's fine. But you need to learn then to understand why a person is. Stop it. Stop doing stupid quotes from stupid people. Seriously, there's no such thing as a gotcha anymore. There never really was. We just thought there was. Stop it. I enjoy doing these kind of things, but you guys, you make it really difficult for me. You really do. I enjoy coming on here, telling the news. I enjoy making videos. But it's just out of fucking hand. Stop it. And thank you to those of you that do this. That do practice patience. That do put me in my place when I need to be. Because that's important too. I didn't plan on ranting tonight. But I it's just been something that's been, and Susan can tell you that it's not just the past week that I've been talking about it. It's not. Being conscientious and being empathetic and being sympathetic and understanding that how are you going to get a person to come on your side and get them to listen to you if you're an asshole to them out of the gates? Not the Matt Gates, but the Gates. Also the Matt Gates. Good luck with that. I don't know, man. But this has been Divine Disbelief, episode 49.
Yeah.
49. Susan lives in the void. Let me see who's here. Grumpy Old Cuss, great to see you. Jocelyn, good to see you. Titan, you as well. Acting Fan 11, I don't know that we've ever met. I apologize if we have. Maya, Susan's in the void, obviously. Other folks, Doc Obvious. Anybody else that I might have missed, you are great. All of you guys are. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being great people. Jocelyn, I know that you had written me on Twitter. I want you to know that your feelings are valid and that the things you're going through matter, to me, and they matter to the people that care about you. And so please feel free to always, to reach out, continue to do so. And there you go. That's going to be it for our show today, tomorrow. Could our roommates be any louder? Yes, and they have been. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much. Again, to all of you out there, all of you matter very much to me, to Susan, and to a lot of other people. Be kind. Also, Jesus existed. I mean, Jesus, not that fucking difficult. You don't have to put anything after it saying